Jan Fabian Wallake. Our painting today is of a beautiful shore beach line. We'll create a depth of field, an impression of distance. Paint the white caps and the foam on water rushing onto the sand. We'll paint wet sand, dry sand. Let's take it in stages and do this painting called Shore Lunch together. I want you to see what I've done here. I've masked all the waves. You can see with this ochre color that it's turned, and that's fine. When we remove that, we'll get the white of the paper underneath. I've also put in some thin lines kind of coming out from those waves. The idea is the foam coming up the beach. So we want the foam to come up the beach. You can see down here a few more lines. I've masked the pebbles in the foreground. Down here on the bottom left, I've masked the birds and their shadows. Now I've also masked about an inch on this side. So what we have here is we have some nice waves coming in. Then we have an area of wet sand, as you would. The waves come in and draw back. That sand appears different than dry sand. This whole side is dry sand. But for right now, we've masked both the wave caplets and the foam coming in on the waves, and we've masked about an inch of the dry sand, okay? If you haven't done all of that, then take a minute, do it now, put the video on pause, and I'll meet you back here in just a minute. Let's paint some wet sand. We will need a lot of colors for this, and I'm also using my, my 1/2 inch flat brush. Actually, this is a bright. I like the bright better than a flat because it's shorter bristles. We're going to start with a kind of a rosy color, so we're going with the magenta. And we're going to mix that with Scarlet Lake, a little bit of magenta with Scarlet Lake. Lovely rosy color. We'll mix some of that with the Aureolin yellow, so we get more of an orange. And then we'll go with cobalt blue towards the bottom. So let's start at the top with this lovely magenta, or actually a rose color. Now we've masked so we can go straight down. I'm going to shift over to the Aureolin. I don't have to worry about it. Look at that beautiful color. Maybe back to the magenta just a little bit. And more of a golden tan color over here. Okay, it's starting to look like sand. I can go right over the birds, that's just fine. A little clear water in there. And some see how I'm kind of mixing these colors as I go along. A little more water to soften. A little violet in there. And back to cobalt.